Grab yourself a coffee, get comfortable. We're about to get started. I'm excited to have this conversation with our guest today. You won't want to miss it. Unfortunately, we won't have time to catch every comment, so if there's something very important that you want seen, please consider using a super chat. As always, be respectful. We're glad you're here, and enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's been a long overdue Saturday sit down. I haven't had one of these in a good while, but welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I have a special guest, someone who's become a very good friend of mine over the last couple of months, Helen. Welcome, Helen. Thank you for joining me. I know it's a little later for you.
Yeah, it's just after 3 o'clock. 7 minutes past 3.
All right. And you live in Wales.
I live in Wales now at the minute. I'm from the United Kingdom, the northeast of United Kingdom, but I've lived in Wales now for about 12 years, something like that.
We were talking on our we just got back from vacation. We were talking on our vacation, like we drove almost 800 miles to get where we went. Think of where you could go in 800 miles. You could go to like 9 countries.
Yeah, you definitely could. Well, where I'm from, it's about 300 mile away from here. And that's in a different country. That shows you how different, like, like say the UK is a very small country, really. It's not a big country at all. And Wales is a different country than England.
So that actually is a different country. I mean,
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I've been in school, so I don't really remember like all the geography stuff. I don't know if
that's a long drive. That's a long drive.
For
900, 800 miles.
Well, 900 miles, yeah. And we took our time getting back. Like we stopped at a Goodwill like 30 minutes from our resort. And we were there for like 4 hours. Like, so that's what Chandra likes to do. She's a reseller. So she goes to Goodwill, buys clothes, and then resells them. And the boys and I went up to the little town a couple miles north of where she was. And we went to like they had a bunch of old video games like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and they had like movies and all this, like, and we went to like card shops with comic books and all that stuff, and a candy shop and all that stuff while we were waiting for her. And then got back on our drive. And I was telling you a little bit about Buc-ee's. So there's 3 Buc-ee's between here and where we went, and basically they're like, I mean, you don't even have Walmarts, so.
No.
But it's like if Walmart had like a tiny, like a toddler gas station with like 200 gas pumps. They make fresh brisket all day long. So there's always fresh brisket being cooked. Mm-hmm. So they have like a whole deli counter of jerky, like turkey jerky, beef jerky.
Yeah.
All of it. And then they have like a whole bank of sodas and coffees and as much candy and fudge as you could think of. So, and clothes and knickknacks and all that stuff. It's like a tourist trap in of itself.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and it's a good place to like stop and pull over. Like you can basically, it's like there's no trucks there, like no semis. Semis can't go there.
When me and my husband watch these like films, these movies, and when they're movies when like say there's a scene where like they're driving like on all this like long road and the call into the hungry, so they call into like on the side of the road like cafe in the States of America and stuff, and like they have them motels on the side of the road, and me and him are always saying I would love to do that. Like, none of us drive, but I have always wanted to learn to drive. And I just think there's some parts of the United States that for me is still so the sort of like outdated in a way, but that's a good thing, I think. To be outdated is a good thing because it means like that there's people out there that are still living like it was in the 1980s, and that to me is like the perfect life because I think I love that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
like all Route 66 and things like that. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of little towns. There's a lot of those little like tiny little cafes and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
especially if you go out west, if you get out
I love
into
like American diners, you know, the style of them, you know, where you can get like the booths and you can sit in the booths and stuff. And I love that, me. You know, I really do love it. But it's like it's crazy that there's some place because obviously the United States is such a massive place, but there's still places in the United States that literally are living like it's like the 1980s, and I think that's amazing. You know.
there's a pizza place not too far from where we live that you walk into, and it's like walking into 1994.
Yeah, I
Because the
would love
video
that.
games are the same, the video games are the same, like the decor is the same, the lighting is the same. It's like I'm walking in, and I'm a teenager again. Because
Yeah.
that's like when we would go there when we were in high school, and I'm like,
I would just love that, you know. And
I love it.
it's like, don't get us wrong, this all this technology, you know, that we've got now, like we can sort of be content creators on these platforms and make a, you know, possibly make a living, you know, and be monetized and different things like that, like all the different platforms. But you know, the thing is like, but there's things that I think like when you were growing up in the 1980s, like the Blockbuster, you'd go down and you'd choose your film you were going to rent out, you know, for 2 days. And that was, you didn't have it in your house, so you'd have to go and like look through all the different ones and choose it and then take it home and stuff like that. And like, you know, I just think like I would say to my kids, I wish that we could go back and all live in the 1980s. But have a few things that we have now, you know what I mean, taken with us. Like time travel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we talk about that stuff. Like, it's so much more difficult now to pick out a movie or a TV show to watch. You have like basically infinite choices, and it becomes so difficult. And I think like,
Sometimes too much choice is not a good thing sometimes.
yeah, and I was thinking like how that also like kind of that'll segue kind of into some of the things that I was thinking about on vacation is because we were on vacation and we allowed ourselves to basically eat what we wanted. Okay,
That's what they're
and
for.
I yeah I it's like the beginning part of the vacation. You're like, especially on the way down, you're just picking up like snacks and soda. I mean, I still can't drink regular soda. Diet, like, there's just something about like the way the soda or like the sugar in it
Yeah,
impacts me weird. I can still drink like Coke Zero. So I had,
yeah,
I had trouble finding decent Coke Zero all the way down. Like, I love a good fountain Coke Zero. Just
yeah.
get a fountain drink from a gas station.
Hmm.
But that was difficult. Like, almost every gas station either didn't carry it or was
Yeah,
out or broken. So I was
yeah.
like, come on. But I was thinking like, because we went to we had pizza and we did all. There was a place that served these gigantic. They were like this big, like these cinnamon rolls. They were like $13 cinnamon rolls, and they probably would have fed. They should have fed like 5 people, but we each got one because we ordered 6 of them, and the lady was like, "Are you sure?"
Well,
I
a,
mean,
a family cheesecake, right,
yeah,
is
yeah.
for a family. But I could have quite easily ate the whole thing with one spoon, you know, and on many occasions I did. And I'm not going to say I regret doing it because I loved every bite.
Oh yeah,
You
and
know
I.
what I mean? It's like, yeah, you know.
But the
Hmm.
one thing about this vacation that's kind of like every time we kind of revert back and kind of go back on what we do as a normal.
Hmm.
So whenever we go back and we allow ourselves to eat what we want, I always feel like I learn something new about
Yeah.
myself
Hmm.
because I feel, and it's something that I've noticed too, like whenever Chandra's family's in town, because
Hmm.
usually when they're in town, like when they all, or whenever we are in the same place, she's got a big family. She's one of 5 kids.
Yeah.
So like all her brother and sisters and mom and dad and everybody together, their kids and everybody are all together. It's like we go to breakfast and then we start at breakfast start talking about, well, where we're going to go for lunch, and then
Yeah.
like, what are we going to do for dinner? And I'm like, who eats this much? You have these gigantic breakfasts, and then you go to lunch somewhere. You have a big lunch, and then they start planning this extravagant dinner. I'm like, who eats this much? And then like, maybe this is, I am not afraid of TMI, but like, then you just poop so much.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, that was like a big part of our vacation was pooping, and I'm like, luckily, luckily we got this condo. It was a
Yeah.
four bedroom, 5 bath condo. So there was enough bathrooms really for everybody to go if they needed to. But like, but it's like, when we're on, like, because Shannon and I were pretty much ketovore, carnivore, whatever you want to call us, right? And
Yeah.
basically not necessarily OMAD, but like, she'll have her eggs and coffee in the morning, and then won't eat again till 6 or 7 at night. Have something else, whether it's some beef or steak or chicken or whatever we have. But like, we're not like sitting around starving or thinking about food all day.
No.
So like, when we do go and allow ourselves, then like that creeps in. Like, well, what are we gonna do for lunch? What are we having for dinner tonight? Like, that's something that we don't even think about. Like, I go to the store, I buy chicken thighs, I buy frozen burger patties, I buy eggs. We've got a gross of eggs in our fridge right now. I
Yeah.
restocked. We have 12 dozen eggs in our fridge right now.
Yeah.
And they'll be gone in probably 2 to 3 weeks, just because of how much. Like, if I make a batch of the chaffle or the waffles that I make, there's a dozen eggs right there gone. So it's just
Mm.
like, I I learned something when we do that, and I allow myself to eat that way again. And it's almost like always like an unpleasant like learning experience. Because I mean,
Do
well,
you feel like when you do that, that when you get back home, you eat like you're still on vacation for a while before you think, I have to pull this back?
not really. Like, this time we got back, and the only thing that really got me is like, we had a little bit of like a couple little snacks left over. Like, I had some like pretzels and stuff left over.
Hmm.
But like, going in and like, well, so we had a staggered return. So we all went down. We all went down together last Monday.
Yeah.
So we all went down together last Monday, checked in last Tuesday, and then two of the people that went with us, our boy and his girlfriend, left on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then three other people that were with us, our daughter, her boyfriend, and our granddaughter, left on Tuesday. And then the rest of the other four of us, left on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we had a staggered return. But when we got back, by the time we got home, we were beyond exhausted. So I laid down. I took a shower, laid down, and got up, and like, we had spaghetti
Yeah.
because it was there,
Yeah.
and it was just there. That's what they had, spaghetti. It was easy. You didn't have to, because I wasn't cooking anything. We hadn't gone to the store. We had nothing in the fridge. There was nothing really to really eat. So that was just like that, a continuation, but more out of necessity than it was out of, because that was what we were going to continue to do. So, but I went to the grocery yesterday, and I bought 10 dozen eggs.
Hmm.
I bought like 2 giant family packs of chicken, and I bought hamburger patties, and just the things that we need to get back on track. And I made Chandra's lunch. She's at work right now. I made her chicken thighs, so she's got those for lunch. About a pound of
Hmm.
chicken thighs each day. So we'll be back on track. But one of the things that I learned was just how hunger can manipulate you.
Yeah.
Because when she and I are on track, like, we'll forget to eat. She goes, I'm like, hey, do you want me to make something to eat? Are you hungry? It'll be before 5, 6 o'clock at night. Well, I guess I probably should eat something. But then when that's when we're on track. But when we're not, it's like, what are we eating? What's next? What are we doing? And we're snacking all the time.
Yeah.
The
I
snacking.
mean, it's crazy, like the journey I've had, and I'm like over the moon, really, to be in the place I am now. With it, with everything.
If
And I
you
think,
would, if you would kind of give a little bit of background on that for those who may be listening who are not familiar with you.
yeah. So I think from being little, I was saying this to my husband today, and I think a lot of people will relate to this. Like if you fall over or something when you're little, or hurt yourself, or and you're crying, running in, and if you're at your grandma's house or whatever, the first thing, what's the first thing normally they do when you're upset? They'll give you a biscuit or a sweet. So I think the brain does hold that information in the subconscious of like makes everything better. It feels good for a few minutes to eat that little bit of biscuit or cake or whatever, ice cream. Oh, here, have this. And so that's sort of like I've been thinking a lot about that. But anyway, so 6 years ago, like I was always fit. I was always in the gym. I was always healthy. And then 6 years ago, my granddad passed away, right? And I found myself going to sugar. First thing was just going to sugar. I would sit on a night time with like cakes and donuts and ice cream, the big tubs of ice cream, and just eating it every night. So I was probably like eating a good, and this was at night time, so I'd already eaten my dinner and whatever. So I was probably consuming about 8,000 calories a day, literally. Right. But I got to a point because I was depressed and I was grief stricken at the time. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going to the gym. I wasn't walking. I was in a really, like, when I tell you bad place, I can't tell you how bad it was. Right. Like, honestly, the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life was when I was standing in my mum's house and that car come round and there was a coffin in there and I knew my granddad was in there. Oh, it was horrendous. And then before that, when I went to the funeral home and he was in the coffin and I was speaking to him in the coffin, that was the worst thing I have ever experienced. And I don't know if you've ever felt like, I don't even know how I'm going to get through a second of this. How am I going to get through this day? How am I going to be able to? And I was sitting in the car behind and I was just fixated and I could see the car sort of swaying like this. And I was looking at that coffin thinking, I can't believe my granddad's in there. The one person who'd always been my cheerleader, loved us to death. He's gone. And I was like this, shaking with crying, hyperventilating uncontrollably. And I could feel there was something inside of me that was dying. Do you know what I mean? Sorry to sound so extreme, but it's just the truth. And like his funeral nearly killed me, right? And when I came back home, I must have spent a good 8 or 10 months at least every day crying for nearly 8 hours a day. Now, my granddad was very important to me. I loved him to bits. And I went into the darkest place. I ended up in hospital 2 weeks after he died. I was so ill. But it was the grief. Emotions go in. They go into you, you know. I ended up having my gallbladder out. I was so ill. Um, and when I came back out of hospital, I cried probably for about 8 hours a day for a good 10 months. My husband was ready to go to work. He was, I used to even send him messages. I'm actually embarrassed about this now, actually. But I used to send him messages when he was at work and saying, if I am not alive when you get home, make sure you are that person I need you to be for my kids. I need you to be that person because I don't know how. But honestly, I just couldn't. So and then I turned to sugar, and eating the sugar kept me alive. I know that might sound stupid saying that, but honestly, uh, them few hours on a night when I'd sit and I was eating the sugar, and I was getting bigger, and I was getting bigger, and I was getting bigger. I was honestly, and like, I was so sunk into this grief, it was horrendous. And in a way, as much as it made me really ill and put a lot of weight on, that cheesecake or that ice cream was like a friend. You know, and I'm so close to my husband. We are so close. He's my best friend. But you know, when there are moments when you're on your own and you feel like, what do I do now? Like, how am I going to get through this? You know, how am I going to ever be, who even am I anymore? You know, and all of this stuff. And so I ended up putting a hell of a lot of weight on. And it wasn't so much I had a sugar addiction, I don't think. It was more that I use sugar as their coping. You know, some people use alcohol, some people use drugs and all this, that and the other. So it's sugar for me. And some people go to the doctors. The doctor gives them antidepressants. For me, I use sugar, right? So it got me through what I had to get through. And about a year ago, I said to myself, because I was dealing with the grief better and better, you know, and I said to myself, it's only 6 months ago I've been able to look at a photograph of my granddad, you know. 5.5 years since, and then I could look at a photo. And I said, right, I've got to do something about this. And I'd seen videos coming up about the carnivore, oh, let's just eat meat, you know what I mean, feel better and this. And at this point I had autoimmune, which I do believe was brought about in complete stress, actually, by the way. The grief and the fact that my diet was diabolical. But stress causes organ damage, you know. The stress can actually cause your organ damage, believe it or not. Emotions that go right into you, your organs feel everything. And so I was basically, right, I've got to do something here. So I started it. And I was quite surprised, actually, how within 3 days, I wasn't even wanting the sweet stuff. So I did carnivore for 85 days. And I always knew that I was doing such a strict thing just to get rid of the sugar that I depended on. So on day 85, I sat down at this table and I wrote a letter. And I wrote a letter to the sugar. And I said in this letter, you have meant so much to me. I honestly couldn't have got through what I did without you. And I thanked the sugar, and some people are laughing at you. Do you know what I mean? And I thanked it for helping me, being my friend, being there for me, keeping me alive. Because as much as the sugar was damaging me, it was also keeping me alive, if you know what I'm saying without saying too much. And so it was keeping me mentally alive, right? So I wrote a letter and said, I can't see you again. We have to say goodbye. This relationship has to come to an end. And I put the letter in an envelope and I actually posted it in the post box. Not addressed, obviously, to anybody. And I decided then, right, what am I going to do now? So I says, I'm going to do all mad. So I'm going to fast all day and then have one meal a day. Right. So I says, it'll be a good idea to do, because I do like to keep the carbs down, you know. So I've been doing all mad and I've been fasting all day and I'm having one meal a day and it's low carbs. It's not carnivore. It's sort of keto, but it's whole foods, right? And I haven't anything sugar wise. If you know, when I'm talking sugar, I'm on about, you know, all the bad sugar, like junk. Haven't even thought about that. I haven't even though I haven't been doing carnivore for about 3 weeks now, I haven't thought about sugar. I haven't even thought about it, wanted it. Carbs, so I was never addicted to carbs in a way. But I know that carbs, obviously, when they're in your body, they do turn to sugar. Too much of anything is no good for anybody, right? And this is what I stand by. And I think whole foods is the way to go for me. and I'm going out doing me walking, I'm losing weight, I'm sleeping better. But my grief is what took me to that. And, like, you need to treat the cause, not the symptom. So it wasn't so much I was a sugar addict. It was the fact that I used sugar through the grief. And until I dealt with the grief, I couldn't get rid of the sugar. Do you see what I'm saying? It's totally a different perspective from what you normally hear, probably off people on these channels. But now that I've dealt with the grief, I don't need the sugar.
I think that there's probably a lot of unrealized trauma in a lot of our lives
Oh,
where
yeah, absolutely.
that sugar filled, like whether it's where the food, whether it's sugar, carbohydrates, whatever it is, fills what's missing.
Yeah.
Whether and for a lot of us, it could be any number of things. And you
Hmm.
were talking about, so you started to go into something like, the idea of like the sugar, it being so comforting to you, and I was thinking like,
Hmm.
I still have thoughts now
Yeah.
where, like, one of the most comforting things to me is to sit down with all my food. It doesn't even
Hmm.
matter what kind of food it is.
Mm.
It could be like when I'm done with this, I can go down and make me some hamburger patties and some hot dogs with
Yeah.
mustard and relish, and just sit down in my chair, my recliner downstairs with that. There's something just comforting about food in general to me.
Yes.
Sitting down with the food, it doesn't matter if it's a big bowl of macaroni and cheese or if it's hamburgers and hot dogs or eggs, or it doesn't matter. There's
Hmm.
something that is just so comforting about food. And
And I
that's
think
really,
what it is, until we deal with our relationship with food, we'll always have. It's just a bad relationship. It's like it's relying on how that makes you feel. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, as well, it's like my conclusion that I've come to at the end of my 85-day carnivore as well, right, is that I think if anybody is using one food group and not eating anything else, you'll get huge health benefits, right? Because if you take out all the processed food and you take out all the sugar, all the junk, all the bread, all this, that, and the other, you are going to get massive health benefits. So, is it the meat or is it the fact you're not eating all the other crap that made you ill in the first place? Now, don't get us wrong, meat definitely has benefits, but I know people, right, that had really, really bad health, right? Really bad, like aches, pains, and everything. And they went to like a really restrictive vegan diet, right? Which is not for me, but, and they're basically or vegetarian or whatever, right? And got rid of all the illnesses that they had as well. Equal results. Do you know what I mean? Like I know people who do a lot of juicing. I mean, I have a juicer. I have one over there on me counter, and I used to juice, and I do like making cold pressed juices, which I have got back into again, and I'm making like some every day, mainly like organic apples and ginger. But I actually do think it's a lot to do with the things you've took out, not what you're just eating. Because most people who go to carnivore are people who've been junk food people. You know what I mean? Who've been love all the junk and stuff. And if they take that out, they're gonna see a huge difference, aren't they?
I think that, I mean, you're 100% right. I think when it comes to a lot of people, especially if you're coming to this community for significant weight loss, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
for those who come to a community like this because they're looking for significant weight loss, there's a lot more there than just what they're eating. There's a lot to unpack. Then there's obviously
definitely.
people who come in because of autoimmune issues, gut health. And that's one thing that I've seen talked about over and over again as well, is when somebody goes whole food, whether it's vegan or whatever, they're typically going to get better.
Yeah.
And now, depending on how then with someone like vegan, you may then start to see some protein deficiencies and things, but that usually takes a little while.
Yeah, definitely, of course. I mean, the thing is with me, right, that most of my meals that I have with my OMAD, sometimes they are like very carnivore based. Like, I mean, sometimes I'm having like sausage with some scrambled egg. Sometimes I'm having some steak still, but I'll have a bit of sweet potato. And, you know, so sometimes I just fancy egg. Or the meals for me that I'm doing is still pretty good, you know, like, and they're always going to be whole foods that I'm personally choosing to do. But the thing is, like, one thing I have learned in the 85 days of carnivore, and I've realized this actually, is that salad items are no good for me whatsoever. I'll never ever eat another salad item ever again, because I know that did give me issues. Because I mean, it's absolutely crazy to think, right, that um when I would eat like something like lettuce or something, oh my god, my I was in agony. I'm not joking either. Like, honestly, I was in agony with it. So I don't know whether it was the actual salad itself, or if it was I needed to completely clean my whole gut up, you know. So when I did carnivore, I did do that, didn't I? And I still have about 90 pounds I want to lose. But now what I'm doing is, as well, is, you see, because I lost about 40 something pound. I can't remember now. I've got it wrote down somewhere on carnivore on the 85 days, right? And now I'm walking every day. I get out for me walks every day. I'm walking about in between 5 to 8 miles a day. I'm also going to bed earlier. So I'm having 10 hours sleep a day, right? A night, I mean. And you know, I'm fasting. There's huge benefits to fasting, I'm telling you now. You know, like, I'm fasting like a lot of hours a day, and I'm having one meal. And
Now, when you're fasting, let's dive into that a little bit. I want to kind of see what you're doing with that and how you're handling that. So, walk me through, like, from when you wake up until you break that fast. Are you having anything outside of water?
right, so when I get up, I'm honestly not hungry. So it's not, so for me, it's not a case of I'm starving and I have to not eat, if you know what I mean. So, like, I'm not hungry. I'm not. So I've always like got the water out. So I take me like vitamins that I take on the morning and stuff. So I'll get the water for that, you know. And then I also pour like the water in my bottle and stuff that I always drink through the day. Sometimes at about probably 2 o'clock, I might make like a ginger and apple cold pressed juice out of the juicer. So that has only been the last few days, that though, mind. And that's only about 3 o'clock. So I would have fasted like all day until that 3 o'clock. But I normally have my main dinner at about 5, 6 o'clock at night. And then after I finish eating that, I'm fasting again after that. Do you know what I mean? When I finish that meal, I fast again. But my eating window is 2 hours, right? So I'll have my meal, and then if I want to have something else in that 2 hours, I have it in the 2 hours. So sometimes we have a little bit of organic fruit. I've added fruit back in as well, but only banana, raspberries, and blackberries. And I wash them obviously before I get them from a good source, to be honest. And I'm literally only having like about 2 raspberries, 2 blackberries, and me and my husband half a banana. And then we put a little bit of yogurt in. So it's a very small bowl. And it's like, it's nice. You know what I mean? It's nice. And I haven't had any irritation off it or anything like that. Plus, after I have that, I'm not craving. It's not making us crave other stuff. Do you know what I mean? Which I'm really, really pleased about. But I think as well, it's not just a case of what we're eating, it's a case of what we're choosing to do. Other things, not just the food, It's habits we create. So I'm creating new habits now, Dustin, by getting out for me walks, which is good for me mind as well. You know, it's good for me mental health. It's good for, and I'm more tired, so I'm going to bed and sleeping. But look, I'm halfway through. Really, I'm not. I'm not sitting here like where I want to be. And I have said on some of my videos, if I go down this right, and if I think that I'm starting to crave other stuff, I will go back on carnivore, 100%. I'll just go up because I know it works. You know, it's like the blueprint. I know it works. So I literally, and I do like meat. So I would literally just go back on it. If that starts to happen, I'll not mess about. I literally would be on it the next day. And I mean that. Do you know what I mean? Because it's important that we look after our health. But well, I think, I don't know if I would do carnivore. I think I would probably do you know the one where they say carno
A
what's it called?
ketovore.
Yes, that's it. I couldn't think of the
I mean,
name.
realistically, ketovore doesn't make any sense, but
No.
but I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, it's basically just combining keto and carnivore. Which, I mean, realistically, the idea that we have control, full control of what we eat,
Which really speaking,
is
keto is
total.
that anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's just a way to lump ourselves into a different group. We like to put ourselves into buckets.
Yeah. And why
We do.
why why label ourselves? Why
Uh,
label ourselves?
I mean,
This
I
is
don't know
what we
why.
do.
I mean,
That's what we doing, aren't we? It's like I'm Helen, right? You're Dustin, but
yeah.
oh, I am. What are you? Are you a keto? Oh, are you a carnivore? Are you a vegan?
And that's one thing that
What
that
I
I try to
mean?
that I always try to make sure that I'm very open and honest about with anything and everything with my channel is the fact that I don't want just keto people. I don't want just carnivore people. I don't
No.
want. I mean, I want vegans. I want everybody to come in here because
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
have something to share. We all have a story to tell. We all have wins. We all have losses. We all have things that
Look,
we've learned
the one thing
about
that
it.
everybody has in common, no matter what food plan is their choice, is everybody's struggling.
Yes.
And everybody's wanting to get, everybody wants to get better. They want to be healthier. So supporting each other is
Mhm.
what's needed. To be
And I
kind,
think
to show love, to have compassion for each other and not judge each other. Stop the judging. I will
yeah.
say this, that there are some people in the carnivore community, creators, I mean, by the way, guys, not people who are just doing the diet, who are so judgmental. I was on YouTube the other night and there was this like live that came up with four other creators and carnivore, and they were discussing this way. Why is people adding the carbs back in? And they were sort of like, oh, well, you know what's going to happen there. And so I found it so unattractive, that live. I just thought, you're embarrassing yourself. This is not a good look, this. Sorry, it's
I
not.
think, I mean, it's important, I think, to sit there and go, okay, somebody is feeling a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
Like, if you are like, that's like, okay, and somebody was mentioning this, somebody was mentioning this the other night, and they were like, it was like the idea that, you're just not trying hard enough. You're not trying hard enough. You're not carnivoring good enough. So that's why you're not, it's probably something in a spice you're using. And it's like, highly doubt that like a 32nd of a teaspoon of something is going to be causing somebody to gain 20 pounds. You
The
know what I
way
mean?
that
It's
I
like,
look at it, right? If I use some seasonings, this is when I was on carnivore. If I use seasoning anyway, but like if I was to use any kind of seasoning, right? I'm not being funny here. Even if that seasoning might have a few like not great ingredients in, it's a hell of an improvement than what I was eating.
100%.
So
Now,
I'm still winning.
and I think there is something to the individual, getting down and getting and dialing in what works best for them when we get into spices and things like that. I think that comes down to an individual. Like some people have tolerances to certain things, and that's going to be up to you to find out what works best for you and what you
Yeah,
can have or can't have. Like people with severe gluten intolerance or whatever. Like there's going to be there's like we come to this community to find sanctuary, right? A lot of
yeah,
us are looking for something. We're kind of out. We're looking for help. We're looking for hope. We're looking for guidance. We're looking to be, we're looking for something. We feel lost. We feel abandoned. Like nothing we've tried, none of the conventional ways have worked for us. Most of us have tried any and all, whether it's Weight Watchers, calorie counting, what have you, and it failed us along the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And we're here for this journey, and then to find out that that it starts to work,
And
and then
we all insulin resistant, basically.
yeah, we're all kind of like ducks of a feather, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Um, but we get into it, and then we're gonna find out that I have to do it a little bit different than you, and then you're going to do a little bit different than than Risa or Amy or all the anybody else who's in the chat right now. But
But everybody's different. Like my
yeah,
husband said to me earlier on, he says the thing is, the bottom line is everybody's different. What's so not one size fits all. It's like, some people can eat salad and not fit and be fine. Some people can eat salad and end up bloody having to go to hospital. Do you know what I mean? Some people can eat a carnivore diet, and do you know what? A carnivore diet isn't great for everybody. It isn't. Some
yeah,
people can feel poorly on it. Some people can feel ill on it. For me personally, I couldn't eat high fat carnivore. I had to eat low fat because I got really bad stomach aches. But that's because I haven't got a gallbladder. You see, I think.
yeah,
But so I had to get like, when I say low fat, I'm talking about the beef. So like say, not a high fat beef. I had to get like a one that's like say the mince, what you call ground beef. I had to use like a 5% or a 10% fat, not like if I'd even attempted to eat a really high fat, I would have been in agony. And I also, for some reason as well, grass fed, right, gives me pain. Don't even know why.
sometimes I mean like Shannon doesn't even like the taste of grass fed beef. I don't mind it, but there's a difference, and and
They reckon that they reckon we're grass fed and meat that's been sort of like matured longer and stuff. They reckon that there's more histamines in it.
yeah, and I think there's just so many more rabbit holes. Like I mean,
Yeah, there is.
because I started keto, I started like this lifestyle journey, like going down in 2016. So just a
Mm,
small background of what I've been through is when we started in 2016, I was over 400 pounds.
yeah,
Um, I had just come off of having a umbilical hernia surgery.
yeah.
Um, I was newly on a CPAP machine, and so I was basically on my way to changing everything about my life. I quit smoking in 2010. By the time we went keto, I basically quit drinking outside of special occasions. Like we drink a little bit on vacation, but day to day, not a normal thing for us.
Can I just
Um,
say, that if anybody's, I can't see any of the comments, guys. So could you tell them, Dustin? I'm not being rude. If anybody's saying anything, I can't see it. So,
I can see everything, and
oh,
if you want to, there should be a little thing in there. Well, oh, you're on
I
your
can't
phone.
really
Yeah.
say anything. So
Okay.
sorry if anybody's asking me anything or anything. So if anybody wants to ask me anything, just shout out at Dustin, and
Yeah.
he can ask us.
And then, if I see any questions, I'll put them on the screen. Right now they're just talking amongst themselves.
Oh, good.
Um, um, uh, so I'd come off of having an umbilical hernia surgery, CPAP. I'd quit smoking years before. and then just
Yeah.
on my way to completely overhauling my entire life, right? So going keto, complete
Yeah.
departure from how I'd lived for a long time.
Well, you did really well on keto, didn't you?
I did,
You
and
did.
I
You
mean,
did, really
and
did
we
do
still
well.
do it, you know.
Well,
I
keto's
was doing
great.
well.
Keto's great.
Well, that's the thing is like I think it gets a bad rap because because of it's on
'Cause
everything now. And there's I mean, maybe not so much where you are, but here you can't go down an aisle without seeing something with keto on it.
I think if you do keto but keep it whole foods instead of packaged stuff, then you'll still be really healthy.
Oh, and that was a problem with us, like especially when it came to so I had gone from like 5X t-shirts and 50-inch pants. Now that's under the belly. If I would have gone over the belly, I'd probably have been 65, 68-inch pants. So if I would have gone over the belly, it would have been ridiculously big and probably even harder to find pants.
So you
Uh,
lost over 100 and odd pounds in basically on
I
keto.
did, yeah. And I got down to 2X shirts and 38-inch pants.
So what stopped you going back for you? You know that works. That's the blueprint for you. I
Yeah.
think I've told you that before, haven't I, on WhatsApp? Why don't you just do keto? Because you smashed it. You absolutely smashed it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we really haven't changed. I mean, realistically, the evolution of how we eat.
And now that I'm keto, I'm going to make you do more videos, Dustin.
I have so many videos to make. I need to.
I'm going to make you do me a video every day and put it up.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the so what really caused a shift in how we eat from more what would be considered traditional keto into more of a carnivore was realistically just streamlining how we eat. It
Mhm.
wasn't really a it was just it's easier to make for me burger patties, some scrambled eggs, or burger patties, some hot dogs, something
Yeah.
it's easy. Really, I mean, and really, we weren't doing anything that overly complicated outside of the fact that I was making a lot of replacement recipes. I was making a lot of recipes back then, and if you go back and look at our videos, our early videos, there's
Yeah.
a lot of product reviews. Now, I really
I've
enjoy.
seen a recent recipe actually, right? I don't know if you've ever done this before. You know carnivore Ray.
Maybe.
He always says that thing of like he doesn't give a rip what people like or whatever if they don't agree with what he's doing. He's only a young lad, but he put this recipe up, right, of like that if you wanted to have like a double cheeseburger or something and you would make it into a bun. Not a chaffle. This is not a chaffle. This is like a bun. And so that looked quite interesting. But the thing is, do you mean that you decided to go to carnivore more than keto because you don't have to really count anything on carnivore or track, but on keto you do?
Well, we didn't track on keto either. We did in the very beginning when we first started, and this is something I was very, and I've been very open and honest about as well.
Hmm.
When we first started, like the first couple of months, we were tracking things on MyFitnessPal,
Yeah.
and I knew right away that if that was something that I was going to have to do
Hmm.
to be successful, I would fail.
Right.
The idea of tracking something every day, anything I put in my mouth, I have to track it. I just decided that it would be easier for me to simplify how we eat, simplify what we keep in the house
Hmm.
to maintain consistency so that I wasn't something that I really need to worry about tracking. But it wasn't necessarily, I was successful all the way up until about the pandemic when I stopped leaving the house.
Yeah.
The job that I had transfer, I was basically in a room all day. Here, I
I
didn't
think
even leave the house.
I do think the pandemic had a lot of answer for people, to be honest.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, and I blame, the idea that we couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
It really shifted our way of life. And I'm
Hmm.
not talking about all the existential, like, I guess I should be saying I'm really talking more of the existential kind of things,
Yeah.
not the pandemic in of itself, because that's a whole other topic. But like, I mean, it shifted our way of life. So I mean, almost everything was 24 hours here. You can go to any grocery store, it's 24 hours, gas stations, 24 hours, McDonald's, 24 hours,
Yeah.
pandemic, that stopped. Like
Did they
Walmart
just
closes.
close down completely, like they weren't open?
Well, I mean, they just stopped being open 24 hours. So
Yeah,
now
not
Walmart
24
closes
hours.
at 11. They
I think
never
there's the
close.
odd supermarket here that's 24 hours. And
Yeah,
like,
we don't even have that anymore.
what do you call it? There's a 24, I think there's one 24-hour McDonald's. See, McDonald's has never been my thing. Like, I've
Yeah.
never been a McDonald's person, but I used to love Burger King. I used to love Burger King, and I actually really used to love KFC as well. Give me that bucket. But
Well,
I wouldn't have ate the whole bucket.
well, now we've got all these warehouses cropping up outside of our neighborhood. These
Mm,
gigantic million square foot warehouses, and I don't even know what's in them. And I mean, it's not really for us to know, I guess, but whether they're factories or whatever.
mm,
But now they put in a McDonald's and a Starbucks to support those. So now, like anytime we go in and out of our neighborhood, we go to Walmart. They're building a new Meijer, which Meijer for you a little context. Walmart almost always used to be just a like a department store. Didn't have groceries. I mean, they may have a little bit of food, but it wasn't like a grocery store. People didn't go to Walmart to buy their groceries. You went to Kroger to buy your groceries or whatever, right? American companies or whatever. Now, Meijer came along when I was in like elementary school, like fifth
yeah,
grade, something like that. Meijer came along and it was like this gigantic 80,000, 100,000 square foot building that had grocery, and you could buy pants and shirts, and you could buy goldfish, and you can buy all this stuff. And then Walmart retaliated by doing the exact same thing. And there's even
yeah.
some Krogers that do it now. But then they were all 24 hours because Meijer was 24 hours, and then Kroger was 24 hours, and then
But
everything was
all of these
24 hours.
apps, I tell you what, I think there's a lot of problem, especially with people who become obese and morbidly obese, and who are just definitely consume far too much food. Is it's reachable any time of day. And you can have the apps on your phone. You can just sit with your phone in your hand and just order whatever you want and be delivered to your door.
Well, thankfully, we don't do that. But the problem is I will be sitting at Walmart on my way home. I'll get the car loaded up. I'll bring up my McDonald's app and I'll order Coke Zero, Diet Coke,
Mm,
drive through. Like, well, last night I ordered I've got points from ordering the girls' Happy Meals. So when I
uh-huh.
get free, and I've been getting free iced coffees. There's iced coffee with cream, no sugar, no flavoring, anything like that. I like coffee flavored coffee.
Yeah.
And so I get free iced coffee last night, Coke Zero. I've been drinking more soda because as I come in and out of our neighborhood to go wherever I need to go to get to the interstate, right there's a McDonald's. I drive right by it and I'm like, ugh. So that's kind of changed how we live, but kind of jumping back into the topic, like that existential idea of the pandemic and how it shifted our lives. Like Shannon and I used to go and do like Walmart dates. We would just go walk around Walmart on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And now and then that changed because you just didn't go anywhere anymore. Now we don't now we're home all the time. Now I mean I used to leave and be gone to an office 50, 60 hours a week. And now I
Mm.
barely leave the house to go to the grocery store.
Do you know I
And it's been
really
like
like someone who suffers with anxiety like me, right? I hated everything about the pandemic, the corruption behind it and everything, right? But I really liked the fact that I hardly saw a soul when I went out the door. I knew nobody could knock on my door. And so I think people who are introverts and who it was quite nice feeling that nobody was about what it was done, even though that what was behind it was really wrong, the way it was done. But I think a lot of people ended up with a lot of addictions because they were closed in.
I lost friends because of that. I lost friends to numerous things because
Yeah.
they didn't have the support that they needed. So they reverted back to old ways. And and they're gone. And
One, yeah, well, one of my best friends, Karen, her drinking got horrendous in the lockdown, and she died in her sleep. They found her, she died in her sleep, but she did actually have cirrhosis of the liver, and I never knew she had. She never told me. She didn't even tell me she was drinking again. She was a childhood friend of mine, but she'd always had a problem with drink. And but when it was obviously COVID and the pandemic, because she was inside and couldn't go out or couldn't see anybody, she was just drinking all day. She was just, and she could get it delivered to the house. So she was drinking just all day, like literally just drinking all day. And I think it's terrible. I didn't really suffer in the pandemic, if I'm honest, because James, my husband, obviously couldn't work for a long time because of the pandemic. So me and him spent so much time together, which I loved. We were literally on a date all day. Every day. Do you know what I mean? Oh, what should we do today? Let's have a date on the sofa. You know what I mean? So it was like it was crazy really. Like for us it didn't change anything because we have something really solid, but people who are out there who don't have a solid thing, because a lot of people don't, and I've experienced that myself. um I worried about people who were stuck indoors with someone that might be abusive, like domestic violence situations and things like that, because it put a lot of people in danger. Not everybody's safe in their home, are they?
it's
Not
true.
everybody's safe in their home, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, like, I hope that I haven't gone on too much today about with the things I've talked about. I hope that nobody's felt triggered or anything, but
Well,
that
one
is
thing I did
just.
want to ask you about, you mentioned your anxiety. Did you find that over the 85 days, 87 days that you did carnivore, did you find that had any meaningful impact to your anxiety?
Oh, definitely. Since I've changed my diet and lifestyle, I haven't been as anxious. But I think the walking, which I've only like started doing recently, really, um, the walking definitely helps with that. But then I ended up with shingles,
So
which was
now was that before? So was that?
stress induced, which
Yeah.
was just a family matter with my parents that brought that on, to be honest. And then when I was going live on here, right, I could feel myself starting to get stressed because the amount of trolls, and it was stressing us out. And I know to grow my channel, I'll need to do lives, but um,
I mean,
well, I don't know.
realistically, you could. I mean, we had talked about it where you could do where I make it to where you got to be subscribed to be in the chat. So
Yeah, well, I'll have to do them settings, because if I ever do go, I mean, I know we're live now, but you know what I mean. Like if I start doing the odd live videos and that again and stuff, um, I'll need to do some settings. But even though that I'm on OMAD now, like keto style, really, um, I found that I've had more new followers. People who were interested in that. You know what I mean? So, like I said, there might be people who do carnivore that might think I can't follow her no more, blah blah blah. That's fine, but it's like I find the community a little bit harsh at times. It's almost like, if I'm honest, it's almost like cult like. It feels like a cult like type feel to it. It's like it's crazy. Like to me, that's weird. The way people can
yeah,
be.
and I mean, it stands to reason because we saw what happened with veganism. We see what happens with
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
so I mean, it stands to reason that carnivore could be the same way. Keto in the early days was like that a lot. There was a lot of keto zealotry. I was guilty of that too. Like, oh my goodness, look what it's something's finally working for me. You have to try this. What do you mean you're keto? It's the way you have to do. I mean, I fell into that. My
yeah.
kids
But
they would joke
yeah,
at
that's
me.
different though. That's different. That's you talking from a place of passion of something that's worked for you because you want to tell other people about it. But you weren't then judging other people for not eating the way you were.
Right.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Totally
It
different
is.
because you're a good person. You're kind. You care about people. You know what I mean? So I know that you would help anybody. You don't care. Like, you'd welcome anybody on your channel. It doesn't matter if what they're eating. You welcome everybody, and that's how everybody should be.
Yeah, and I know that there's a certain percentage of people out there who are very careful in how they curate the channels they participate in.
Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to eliminate the possibility of triggers and things like that. They don't want to be watching people eat things that would trigger them to eat something that would cause them to have
Oh,
distress.
I understand that.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's a growing issue that I see. If you're not carnivore enough, if you're not this enough, if you're not that enough, then
Yeah.
you know we.
Yeah.
It's almost like we don't need you. And it's like we do. We need every single person in this community to keep the community growing, because the growth
Yeah.
of this community is what keeps people healthy. Like, not, I mean, there's so many people on the outside of this community who don't even realize this community exists.
The thing is, the
And I don't,
community shouldn't have to be keto or carnivore or all this, that, and the other. It should be a community of, the community should be of supporting people with food issues. But if you do keto, great. And if people want to do keto, they follow you, they watch what you do, they watch what you eat. They can come on your channel, they can just make a comment, they can get a reply and get help. But if someone is doing something else, that's absolutely fine. But I know as well that there's creators out there who are pushing carnivore, that they'll not come on and tell you if they're not doing carnivore, because they've got too much of a big following. They're making too much money. Do you know what I mean? I'm telling you now that if they even decided that they weren't going to do that no more, they wouldn't tell you.
yeah.
I know you would, because you're honest, and I would, like I have now. But what you've got to remember is, when there's a lot of money involved, you never see the true person.
And I kind of wonder, like, well, so for me, one of the things that drives me crazy is the level of smug.
Oh, definitely.
The is it smugness? Is that a word? Like, it's
Yeah, it
just
is.
like, I'm better than you because like, you're not doing this well enough. You're not trying hard enough. That's We are all here because we have failed a lot. We're all
Yes,
here because we've given in to
definitely.
addiction. We're here because
Hmm.
we have gained weight or got sick or whatever. We're here, but at the same time, we are here because we want to make a difference in ourselves. We are
Yeah,
here because we want to make a difference in others. We're here because we're trying to be selfless.
yeah.
And
And look, at the end of the day, we're only human. We'll make
yeah,
mistakes. We'll make mistakes sometimes. I'm not saying like it's a mistake, but you know what I mean. It's like we're not going to be perfect at all the time, are we? You know what I mean? And I think it's important for people to watch someone that maybe isn't perfect, but is really honest and authentic with it. There's no such thing as perfection.
no. And the problem with promoting perfection is
Then other people think that they're not doing good enough.
you're setting everybody up for failure.
Yeah.
That's why I've always been a very big everything that always comes out of my mouth has everything to do with consistency.
Oh
And
yeah.
I've said things that make people very upset, because I'm like, if you have, say, take 100 days,
Mhm.
okay, 100 days,
Mhm.
and you eat 2 meals a day for 100 days, that's 200 meals.
Yeah.
You have 5 cheat meals in 100 days.
Mhm.
That's still 195 on plan meals. You're
Exactly.
still smashing consistency. And people are like, oh, I mean, now for some people, that's the wrong kind of way to look at it. And I understand. But what we're trying to do here is blanket statement to a degree, because we've got a billion people, 2 billion people out there who desperately need help, and they're sick, they're suffering, they may feel like how I was feeling, hopeless. I was resigned. My mom passed away when she was 59 years old.
Yeah.
She had been in a nursing home, in and out of a nursing home for 10 years. She was in a nursing home roughly right around the time she turned 50 years old. I'm 46.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to end up like her.
Yeah. Of
I
course.
was ready to be like her,
But you're
but I
not
was
going to be.
lucky. I got lucky that I found keto. We decided to try low carb. Had no idea what that meant. Went to keto, didn't know what it was. Luckily, I'm a weirdo, and I went down these rabbit holes watching hours and hours and hours of lectures from like low carb down under from Australia, and
Yeah.
just watching anybody and getting into like Dr. Finney and all these people just tell me all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I have to figure this out because this is my hope. I want to be here. I don't want to, I've got into a situation where I have stepkids, and then
Yeah.
granddaughter, another one on the way. I need to be there for them. I need to be there for my wife. I need to be there for my family. I need to be there for my brother.
Well, you're hitting the nail on the head right there, because I've now switched to OMAD through keto style low carb, basically, right? And fasting. And what will stop me stepping back over to making bad choices? I'm a mother. I need to be here for my children for as long as I can, and my husband. And I need to remind myself of them things. That's what will stop me picking up that food that I know send me back to a bad place, and I'm not doing it.
I have a 7-year-old granddaughter, and she'll say things like, "So when you're dead," I'm like, "Hopefully not for a while."
Oh well.
So and I just she gets me like, and
When you
and
did.
she's like, she's like, "When you die," I'm like,
Well, she's definitely gonna be president one day.
maybe she's gonna be Barbie president, whatever she wants to be. I just, I'm so very thankful that I found this community. I'm thankful that
Oh, so am I. I
hopefully
mean, I've met so many lovely people. I mean, like, you've become a really, really good friend, and there's another girl on here, Cass.
she's in the chat. Sandria, she's in the chat.
Oh, I love Cassandra. Hello, Cassandra. I love you, my girl. She knows I adore her. Like, she's so uh, supportive, and she's such a lovely soul. I love her to bits. Love her to bits. And I love watching her videos. And by the way, guys, right, you want to hear that girl sing. She is an amazing singer, by the way. Like, amazing singer. She sings when she does. She sings when she does her dishes. And I've made like such amazing like connections with Dustin, with Cassandra, and people. That's helped me a lot. When you meet people that know how you feel, it's like they understand what it's like, don't they, to go through it. Like, people that come on your live videos, they understand what you've gone through. You know, and they understand what it's like to go through your situation. Um, and I mean, like me and you. I mean, how many voice notes we've sent, Dustin?
Hundreds, long 20-minute voice notes.
Yeah. It's but it's nice, to have. I says to my husband, I've made it. I tell him obviously about you all and that and whatever, and he says, "Oh, is that the guy with the beard?" I say yes. Hmm. But it is, this is a lovely community. Thank you so much for inviting me on this chat video, live video. And
Yeah.
hopefully I haven't triggered anybody, because if you watch the video back, I know I got into me feels a bit there, but it's the truth, and I want it to be authentic.
It needs to be, because we have to understand that if you felt that way before, and if you felt that helpless and hopeless and just devastated by loss,
Yeah.
with 8 billion people on this planet, you cannot be the only one. And if you
No.
found a way to dig yourself out, telling your story is going to be something that may help others find their way out as well.
But I think majority of people who have got food addictions, right? It's not that the food they're addicted to in a way, it's what's at the root of the problem. And I think if we go to the root of it, you can understand why you're doing it, why you're turning to that food, how you're feeling when you do it. You know what I mean? And,
She's got
and
a
it's
question.
probably to do with some trauma or something, most of the time.
She's got a so Cassandra has a question for you, Helen. She says, "How do you get through your morning when fasting? How do you keep yourself from nibbling?"
The more you fast, the less hungry you are. So I keep myself really busy. I go for my walks, I do my housework, I drink water, and you just don't seem to get hungry, But if you do get hungry and you want to fast, make yourself like some herbal tea or something, like the herbal teas, because they're brilliant to have. Or sometimes I actually put some lemon. I slice lemon up and I put it in like a hot drink, hot water with just lemon in, and drink that. But that's the best thing to do. That just don't nibble. Just don't touch the food. Cassandra's problem is that she has young children, you see, and in her shopping, she is buying a lot of like carb type stuff for her kids, and then she ends up falling off and falling on, and falling off and falling on. But
It is difficult
it's difficult when you're buying that and it's in the house.
when you're
That's another
buying the little
story.
things like goldfish crackers and little things that kids like to nibble
Yeah.
on, and
See,
like
I haven't got that in my house, you see, Dustin, because my children are not little no more. So I'm lucky in a way, because it's not in the house. You know what I mean?
well, well, I can't even, they're not even teenagers. They're 21, 25, 27.
Yeah.
And they live in our house, and the younger two, they go shopping, and they go shopping like 10-year-olds who won the lottery. They come home and they're bringing home like boxes of ice cream sandwiches and just all the most ridiculous stuff. And I see it, and and it's difficult for me. And I'm like, and I even tell them, like, now the older kids have moved back in too, and I'm like, this is difficult for us. We have for a long time have had our, a way that we eat. And when you bring things into the house and you're cooking these foods, like, yeah, it might just be potatoes, but that's a struggle. That's a struggle for us. And like when they first moved back in, there was like, I had an emotional almost breakdown, because I'm trying to do what I need to do for myself, and I'm like, go in the kitchen, and they've made potatoes and all these things, and I'm like,
I mean, all of them things are gorgeous, aren't they? The lovely roast potatoes and all that.
they're delicious.
It's all like lovely, and you end up, oh, that's gorgeous,
And I had one, I picked one up, and then I kept walking back, and it was the idea that I couldn't stop going back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is going to be so bad for me, because while, yeah, it's just a cut potato and half, it's been roasted, some oil or whatever, some seasoning on it. So it's a whole food. It's fine. But for me, it's a gateway down a dark path that I don't want to go down.
Yeah.
Because I can't, because I may not survive another path.
What's really important with any addiction, it doesn't matter what the addiction is knowing what your triggers are. And what your triggers are, stay away from them. If they're going to trigger you, make sure you stay away from them. But it's difficult for you, with you having obviously other people in your house now that are bringing them things in. So it's hard to avoid, you know. It's hard to
Now
avoid.
I stay up in my room. This is our
Yeah,
bedroom, so like this is my little isolation booth.
yeah.
And I've got our bedroom outside of here. I got a bathroom, a bedroom. I got a TV over there. I got a TV right here. Like I just come up here and I have to stay away because they're always nibbling and eating, making ramen noodles or whatever. So I go down there, make my food, eat, and then I come back up. And I just have to avoid. I mean, I've got like schoolwork out the wazoo to catch up on too. So I'm gonna be busy all day today,
I mean,
tomorrow.
I'll definitely at some point eat some cake at some point. I'll definitely probably eat some ice cream again at some point, and I hope that when I do, I'm not going to be addicted to it again. I don't think I will be. I don't think I will be, but we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, it won't be often I have it if I do have it. You know what I mean? It'll be if I go away on for a few days with my husband or a Christmas, you know, when we're going for Christmas dinner, I'll probably have a dessert and see how I feel on it. Let's hope I'm
Yeah,
not just raiding the kitchen.
we just got back from vacation, so I was eating anything and everything that I wanted. We had pizza. We had I don't even know. We went out. We had like fried fish and fried shrimp. We were on the Gulf, so we were shrimp
Hmm.
and fish
Yeah.
and I had crab and all that stuff and crab claws and all that stuff and
Hmm. Your crab claws
so
is all right.
well they were all fried breaded.
Oh, right.
They were there was a little appetizer of crab claws was market price was
Hmm.
$30. We spent so much money this last 2 weeks. Like we were at the bar one day because we spent one day at because they had an adult bar, like adult pool with a bar, and I think and it was the first time we've ever really drank with our kids, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because it was just not a drinking family, but we
Mm.
were all sitting around the pool talking, chatting, got some drinks like pina coladas and stuff like that. And within
Yeah.
like just like 2 hours, we like $250 on drinks. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
So we did, yeah. So yeah, that was a bad move. But and Cassandra wants to know, Helen, what's your favorite cake?
Oh, my favorite cake probably. Well, I used to love red velvet cake, but cheesecake is my thing. I loved cheesecake. My favorite cheesecake probably would have been Biscoff.
Oh my goodness. Oh, do you guys have the Biscoff, like the butter spread, the Biscoff spread over
Yeah,
there?
yeah. Do you not?
We do. Yeah, that's the problem. And now like there you can buy like the Walmart version, so it's even like a
Yeah,
dollar $2 cheaper.
I like Biscoff and like caramel type tastes. I like they're the ones I love. You know, like that. They're the favorite. So I'm not really bothered about like say strawberry stuff and stuff like that. So the Biscoff cheesecake, and you guys have the cheesecake factory, don't you?
Yeah, we went a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago, and it's not just like
I bet the cheesecakes are gorgeous in there though. I bet they
there's like a
really are.
hundred different one. There's like 100 different ones,
Ma-
and they give you these slices that are like this big. They're just massive pieces.
No way. I bet there's loads of dessert places, is there, in America?
You're going to take one. You're going to have one airline seat to get here, two to get back. I mean, I think about coming over to England. I just want to load up on fish and chips, right?
I love fish
I
and
mean,
chips.
I know we get it here, but I mean, I just want to know: is it the same over there? Is it better? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
me and
just
my
need to know.
husband are going away in 4 weeks' time. We're going away for 6 days back home where I'm from, and we're going to be staying in a hotel that's right on the beach, right? So I'm going to do loads of content when I'm there. I'm going to show everybody like, and I think there'll be loads of people who like to see what it's like there down near the sea. And I'm going to video the fish and chips that we will get, Dustin, and I'll let you see them. You can't taste them,
Because I
but
went to
I'll let you
Epcot
see them.
in 2023. We were at Epcot and Disney World, and they have the England Pavilion or whatever, and they serve fish and chips, and I had that a couple of times. I just like. I mean, we've had that. We have, and I don't even know how
Fish-
it's still in business. We have Long John Silver's
Do you know what's
fish and chips and
gorgeous?
fish and chips.
Fish and chips with curry sauce over the chips.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
You'd like it.
I might. I like
I know
curry.
you would. You'd like it. You definitely would like it. You
And I
definitely
was
would
like
like it.
hush puppies and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, we had a good time. Like I was talking, I think before we went live, there was a place. In Orange Beach, because that's where we stayed, was Orange Beach. There's a place called um it's called Coastal. It's
Hmm.
called the Coastal. It's a restaurant, and they have these caramel cinnamon buns, but they're like the size of your head, and they're like $13 cinnamon buns. So if you go and you look on Instagram, look up the Coastal Orange
Mm.
Beach and scroll through their reels, and you'll see them making these ridiculously gigantic cinnamon buns. And we went in. Well, we sent the kids to go get it because we had two cars, one small car in our gigantic living room of a truck. Um, that yeah, it was just a massive. It was a Ford Expedition Max, just a giant.
Oh,
I think it sat 10 people. If you needed to put 10 people in there, I think it would have sat 10 people.
my
But we had
goodness.
6 of us in there. They were all spread out, and all of our luggage. But yeah. So we didn't like moving that too much because it was hard. We were parking garage. It was hard to
Yeah.
navigate that thing in there. But we sent them off to get it, and the lady was like, "Wait, you need 6? Really? Are you sure? Like, are you sure?" Like, yeah.
Yes.
And I guess it was like it was kind of a ritzy place because here when you're looking at like restaurants that have like $1 sign, $2 signs, $4 signs is what this place was. And it was like
Yeah.
all these people eat like these little salads, and they're like, "Oh, I just couldn't possibly order one of those." Okay.
No.
And I'm like, we're like, we'll take 6, please. Like, like it's
Oh.
like I remember going out to dinner with a friend years and years ago, and he goes, "Whenever we go out to dinner, we always eat like kings." I mean, I've been fat my whole life, so like, like that's just how we like. Yeah, and there's like when we went on like on this vacation, I was like, no, I mean, you could eat carnivore, you could eat keto if you truly needed to. Like
Yeah.
we had a full kitchen, refrigerator, stove, we had a microwave, we had all of it. There were grocery stores, there were WalMarts and Rouse or whatever. There was all these things that were there.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to, you could stay on track
Yeah.
as much as you needed to. But also, there's places serving stuffed cheese, like stuffed like French toast and all this stuff, and it's
Oh, French
crazy.
toast.
Yeah, and I mean we
Mhm.
beignets and all these things because yeah, we were like 3 hours. It was a three like where we were 3 hours from like where they do Mardi Gras in Louisiana. We were like not too far. We were like an hour from Mississippi, an hour from like about 30 minutes from Florida.
There's nothing like French toast with bacon and syrup. Like
Yeah, bacon is
that's
the best.
that's amazing. Amazing.
And that's the problem. I think that's the problem when it comes to food because you can't not eat
See, the thing
forever.
is with me as well, I want to get to a point, right, in my life in the future where I can eat really what I want, but having a small amount of it. Do you know what I mean? So it's
I don't.
everything's in moderation. I just want to live like other people do, you know?
That's never going to be me. That's not. I don't think it's in my DNA.
I want to be that person.
I just don't think it's going to be me. It's just. I don't even think I. Because and I've heard such great explanations. I've heard people talk about like somebody can go into it. Somebody can go in and open up a cake and take a bite, put the lid back on it, put it away, and go, "How can you do that?" And they're
See,
like,
my
"Well,
my
because I
husband can
know
do
it's
that.
not, it's not
My
the last
husband
cake
can.
I'm ever going to have."
My husband got a tub of Haagen-Dazs out of the freezer last night. Rum and raisin. Right?
Very English flavor.
Yeah, is it? Yeah, right. And he had like 2 tablespoons and put it back. I never used to be able to do that, me.
I couldn't do that now.
And he's very, very, very strict. Very strict. And we buy him like the bars of like, the dark chocolate, but it has different flavours in. And he can get it and have like 2 things, and that's it. 2 like square of it and just put it back. My granddad used to be like that. He used to eat like 1 stick of a Kit Kat. That's an English British chocolate biscuit.
And we've got Kit Kats.
Oh, have you? Oh,
Yeah.
you've got Kit Kats.
And we've got them in all flavor. We got them in like strawberry and.
There's loads of different flavours here as well.
Yeah.
And so my granddad would have just had the 1 stick, and that was it. I don't understand these people.
I think it really comes down to how you were raised, because my grandmother was like that.
Yeah.
But my mother was not. My mother, like, I think it really, they say that, it's like, well, people talk about, well, it's in my genes. Well, I think it's in your history. It's in how you were raised. It's how your mother was. It's how your grandmother was. It's how your great grandmother was. It's not necessarily like, it's not, genetics plays a role.
Well, I never
Genetics
had
plays a
food
role.
addictions because my family are not big eaters. My family are not big eaters, and I was never overweight. I was always really slim. And like I say, this happened to me when my granddad died 6 years ago with the sugar. And so to me, that's why I wanted to get rid of that. But it is right of how you're raised. You get them habits. I mean, and I haven't come from big eaters, if you know what I mean. Like, you weren't given big portions and stuff on the plate, you know what I mean, or anything like that.
And that's where I came from. Like food was love. Food was, my mother made sure because we grew up pretty poor, my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and like, but I was like, I had a lot of a good relationship with my great grandparents. My actual grandfather passed away when I was like 4 years old, but my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother was alive until just 3 years ago. She lived to be
Yeah.
90. And
Yeah.
my great grandmother lived to be 87. Great grandfather lived to be 95. So
Mm-hmm.
they were in my life until I was an adult, well past being an adult.
Yeah.
But like, they were always very much like, you couldn't go to my great grandmother's house. You just hear cast iron hitting the stove. You know what I mean? Like, it's time to cook. You're here. I'm making you something to eat. Sit down. Shut up. I'm making you food. I'm not hearing
Yeah.
anything about it. And
My granddad was 93 when he died, and he also had Alzheimer's. Terrible,
yeah.
honestly. Absolutely terrible it is, that, like, dementia. Oh, nasty. And see, this is the thing as well. What's going to stop me eating the crap? I don't want to end, because I do believe what we put in our bodies can cause all these illnesses. Like, I do. I really do believe that. But then again, my granddad didn't eat crap and he got Alzheimer's.
I think there's genetic predisposition. There's environmental. There's.
And he walked every day for miles. He was fit. But he got
Yeah.
Alzheimer's. But some of the research I've done, they do say that the medication that people take for high cholesterol,
The
this,
statins.
the statins, there's a side effect of that is memory loss. Now,
Well,
that's
they're also
interesting.
finding out
That's
that
very interesting.
they're finding out too that statins lower people's GLP-1.
Never.
So you're having issues with people lowering GLP-1,
Yeah.
and then when they're putting people on GLP-1 agonists.
My goodness.
The granddaughter's knocking at the door.
I was just going to say, is there anything else that you want to ask? Because I've got to go in a minute because we need to make the dinner.
Sure, I don't want to keep you longer than you need to. So you have a channel. You're currently taking a break. Is that correct?
Well, I'm back now. I'm back doing
Okay.
it now.
Okay. And you're going to be are you planning to do lives again, or are you just going to be making the short long form
I
content
will
like we
do
did
lives
before?
again, but not yet. But I will do lives again. But I'm just doing mainly content now. Content, video content. And I'm doing shopping hauls as well. So shopping hauls and just like talking, just in general about food and just how I feel. But then sometimes I'm doing cooking videos as well. It's just a
Yeah,
mixture really of stuff, to be honest.
show what you do. That's what people need to see.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Helen, thank you so
But
much for joining me today. I truly appreciate you. You've been a great supporter of me, and we've only known each other a very short amount of time, but I feel like we've grown to be good friends, and I'm glad to know you.
yes, we are very good friends, and I'm pleased. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful to have you in my life, and long may the friendship last for a long time. Supporting each other, and that's what it's about. And thank you for having me on. And hopefully, anybody that listens to this, they're not too triggered. But that is just honestly what I've been through. So
Well, thank you again, and we're going to go put these credits up. Thank you for all who were in the chat today. Thank you for those who watch in the future. Check out KetoSimple.shop for ways to support me. And thank you all so very much. If you want to stick around for a minute after this, we'll talk in a minute.
yeah. So for me to get out, do I just press the cross thing?
Yeah, if you just want to stick around for a minute, then I'll end the live, and
Oh,
then
right. Okay. Sorry.
no worries. Anyway, thank you all so much. We'll see you in a little bit. We'll see you. I'll be back tomorrow night at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, like normal.